Right now at 5 on WHAS 11 News. Look at this snow cover, folks. A winter weather advisory is in effect for parts of our viewing area. And depending where you've been living, you've seen a little more snow than anybody, like Kenny out of Carrollton, Kentucky, who recorded this video for us today as it was coming down hard there near the Ohio River in Carroll County. Well, thank you for joining us here at 5. I'm Doug Prophet on this snowy Monday of Christmas week.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to see some of the snow coming down. I'm Connie Leonard filling in for Shay tonight. So let's check in with meteorologist Colleen Peterson to see how long these frigid temperatures are going to be sticking around. Colleen?
Yeah, big smile on your face, Doug. We are finally getting some of the first snow of the season here in Kentucky. And it's really light in nature. Some light snow squalls that we saw earlier are off into eastern Kentucky. This is what the radar is looking like right now. East Jefferson County getting a little snow shower, some flurries just east of Fern Creek, right around Shelbyville, right in the middle of Shelby County. Hopping off to the west, Alton and Leavenworth, New Amsterdam, seeing some light snow showers. Then another little band just branching along English and Crawford County, and that's going to continue to track off to the east. So a few more flurries in that forecast here over the next few hours, and then once we head overnight tonight, conditions are going to start to get better. So right now over the Ohio River, not seeing any flurries visible on our camera. We are seeing some cloudy skies, maybe a few flakes here or there, wet snowflakes at that. 35 right now. It is definitely cold enough to get some snow. 33 in Bowman, 33 in Fort Knox. But check out these wind chills. This is what it actually feels like when we factor in that wind. 23 degrees, so it is a rather frigid night that we have in store for you. Wind chill value is only going to get a little worse before it gets better. By tomorrow morning, we have teens for wind chill value, so it's going to feel like 15 degrees tomorrow morning. Our actual temperature, 21. That is our low temperature forecast for tonight. I'll talk about what we have in store for tomorrow coming up.
Colleen, thank you. Now to our top story here at 5. Today marks the second week of the triple murder trial of Bryce Rhodes. The defense was expected to start its case today, but instead decided to call no witnesses to the stand. So the case is moving forward in order to hand it off to the jury for deliberations. WHAS 11's Alexis Jones and photojournalist Emma Gefter have been in the courtroom all day long and is reporting on what changed for the defense. Alexis?
Doug, after resting their case earlier than expected, the defense kicked off closing arguments, urging the jury to focus on the evidence.
What I say is not evidence. The prosecutor says it's not evidence. What you heard in the witness stand, that's the evidence.
Defense attorneys say the facts presented during the trial didn't add up to the prosecution's argument. Attorney Tom Griffith says prosecutors claim the murder scene in 2016 was unbearable. However, he says evidence shows LMPD detectives didn't see much when they first visited Bryce Rhodes' home. He says witnesses remember other adults being present when the teens were killed, but prosecutors say Rhodes is to blame. Griffiths also says prosecutors and detectives claim they had a missing back seat, which Rhodes owned, the missing back seat in Rhodes' car, but it was never tested for DNA or submitted into evidence. Right now, the prosecution is giving their closing arguments. We will keep you updated as we learn more. In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS 11 on your side.
Alexis, thank you. More from that courtroom coming up tonight at 6. Rhodes is charged with 3 counts of murder, 2 counts of abuse of a corpse, and 3 counts of tampering with evidence. If convicted, he faces life in prison.
A family wants to see an arrest made after Antoine Shackleford, a security guard at Dosker Manor, was shot and killed last month. LMPD said at the time everyone involved in the shooting was accounted for. Our Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Jessica Farley spoke with Antoine's father today as he waits for answers on his son's case.
This don't add up, period.
Glenn Shackleford, Antoine Shackleford's father, holds the police report from his son's death. It names a man responsible for the shooting. However, no charges have been filed against him.
But now you got people scared to come out of their house because the stuff is going on up there. And just clean Dotson man up. That's all. That's my prayer that happened to get foreclosure on my son of senseless death.
Antoine, who was shot and killed here at Dosker Manor on November 11th, was a security guard for the Louisville Metro Housing Authority apartment complex. His cousin and stepsister previously told WHAS 11 the shooting stemmed from an argument over a kayak. The family's search for peace is intertwined with their call for justice. They wonder why the man who shot Antoine is out of jail. Antoine also left behind a wife and children who are now preparing to spend their first holidays without him.
What kind of Christmas they gonna have? It's sad. So, I mean, it's got me sad. I got our family sad. It's sickening. So we got to get, bring this thing to a closure.
LMPD says it's handing the case over to the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, which will then assign a prosecutor. In Louisville, Ian Hardwick, WHAS 11, on your side.
Shackleford's story is one of several causing concern amongst Dosker Manor residents. On Friday, LMPD's SWAT team arrested a man after he threatened several people at that apartment complex. And change is coming to the Louisville Metro Housing Authority, which manages Dosker Manor. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg named Elizabeth Strojan as the Housing Authority Director. Strojan will step in the role in the new year. The Louisville native has 10 years of experience in affordable housing and is coming from work in New York City.
Also today, we're learning more about what led police to shoot a man, injuring him during a traffic stop that happened on a Friday night near Churchill Downs. It comes as he was supposed to make his first court appearance, but did not make it today. He is still in the hospital recovering. An arrest citation shows police first saw Marvin Smith at a gas station on Berry Boulevard tying off clear plastic baggies. Police say when they tried to stop him, he ran off and pointed his gun at them. The citation says one of the officers was heard at least 15 times calling for Smith to drop his gun before shooting him. Police say Smith had meth, cocaine, marijuana, and fentanyl on him at the time of his arrest. He is currently facing a number of charges, including wanton endangerment of a police officer, fleeing and evading police, and trafficking in a controlled substance.
We now know the name of the woman who died in a car crash Saturday night. Indiana State Police say alcohol does appear to be a factor in that deadly crash in Corydon. Police say a trooper saw a Suburban run a stop sign at State Road and Water Street. The trooper tried to make a traffic stop. It says 27-year-old Sierra Rose Baylor kept going before hitting a tree. ISP adds that Baylor was ejected from the SUV and died at that scene. 7 people, including a firefighter, were injured Saturday in an apartment fire at 8th and Crestview Court in Jeffersonville. Firefighters there got the call just after 2 p.m. saying there were people who needed to be rescued in an apartment directly above that fire. One person broke their leg when they jumped out a second-floor window, and a firefighter hurt his arm while helping someone out of the window. All 7 hurt were taken to a local hospital with minor injuries. Fire officials believe that fire started accidentally.
And a major new update in the lawsuit challenging Kentucky's abortion ban. The attorneys for Jane Doe and the ACLU have now withdrawn their lawsuit. It comes after the Kentucky woman at the center of the case found out that her embryo no longer has cardiac activity. Just days after filing the lawsuit, the ACLU of Kentucky filed a voluntary dismissal of the lawsuit over the weekend. Lawyers pointed to a Kentucky Supreme Court decision earlier this year that said abortion providers could not sue on behalf of their patients. The leaders of the ACLU released a statement on the outcome saying the court's decision has forced Kentuckians seeking abortion to bring a lawsuit while in the middle of seeking time-sensitive health care, a daunting feat and one that should not be necessary to reclaim the fundamental right to control their own bodies, but we won't stop fighting.
Today, family members and LMPD officers held a memorial service for fallen LMPD officer Zach Cottengem. It's been 2 years since he was killed in the line of duty. Officer Cottengem went to go check on an abandoned car on the side of I-64 when a driver hit him. He is missed by his wife and 2 little boys. Today at his memorial, his fellow LMPD officers said it was a top priority of theirs to make sure the 3 of them were taken care of after his passing.
Zach's youngest son was less than a year old when he passed, and I think it was just really important to everybody to let her know that we weren't going to leave her stranded, that we were still going to help her with what she needed and help her get through.
Nearly 300 cars lined Cave Hill Cemetery for his funeral, and around 900 people attended. Now a sign stands on the side of I-64 in his honor.
It's a big day for Kentucky's budget, as today Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear shared his new proposed budget for the Commonwealth, and his speech will be coming later tonight at 8 o'clock. Last year's budget included more money for public education, pay increases for state workers and police troopers, and improvements to high-speed internet. Last night, the governor tweeted in reference to his new budget saying, quote, "We're investing in our kids, opening up new doors of opportunity and making sure our communities and families are safer than ever," end quote. Andy Beshear's budget address will be streamed live on his Facebook page and YouTube channel. Again, it's tonight at 8 o'clock. We'll break down the details for you on the WHAS 1119 at 11 o'clock.